My name is Elena, and welcome to the Pumpkin Pages. This is Billy. It is May 1st, and it is officially halfway through to Halloween. So, like a lot of people out there, I wish it was Halloween 365 days a year, and in my heart it is. And since it's halfway till Halloween, I decided I should make a reading vlog with books inspired by Scooby-Doo / Meddling Kids. So the first book that I'll be reading is Meddling Kids by Edgar Guntero. And I mean, does this not scream Scooby-Doo? So this book is about 4 teenagers and a dog. And this was set in the 1970s, and Sleepy Lake was being terrorized by an amphibian monster, which ended up being an old man in a mask. So he was put in jail and starts to suspect that they got the wrong man. So she decided to get the gang back together and to find out who the real culprit was. Here we have another book. This is The Saturday Night Ghost Club by Craig Davidson. And about a boy growing up in Niagara Falls in 1980. He mostly spends time with his uncle, who happens to be really into the occult and likes to collect artifacts. Friends, 2 twins, and they have a lot of free time in their hands, and so they decide to get into mysteries and decided to form a club called the Saturday Night Ghost Club. So what ended up being a cute little project ended up becoming far more sinister. So the last book I have here is The Stars Did Wander Darkling by Colin Meloy. So this book, I think it'd be better if I read it from the back. It says, maybe Archie Coombs has been watching too many horror movies. All of a sudden, the most ordinary things have taken on a sinister edge. A penny on a doormat, an odd man in a brown suit under a street lamp, the persistent sound of an axe chopping in the middle of the night. He keeps telling himself that this is Seaham, a sleepy seaside town where nothing ever happens. Or at least, nothing did. Until his dad's construction company opened up the cliff beneath the old, and some say cursed, Langdon place. Soon, though, he and his friends can't deny it. More and more of the adults in the town are acting strangely. An ancient, long-buried evil has been unleashed upon the community, and it's up to the kids to stop it before it's too late. Hey Billy, are you ready to start solving some mysteries and search for clues? Clues! Dum 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 dum! How cute is that? So I was gonna go to the cemetery and kind of get a break from reading. So there is literally a cemetery in my backyard. Well, not in my backyard, but a few yards away. I see dead people. And we've had a couple of weird spooky things happen around here. I don't think my house is haunted per se, but maybe the land is. So I wanted to walk towards the cemetery, and specifically towards the area that, you know, to check out, like, to see who's exactly buried near our house. So I just started the app right now. I just popped up. A cat that comes and visits. I call her Oreo. Maybe, but she's not black though. Alrighty. So, starting to pour a little. Oh, let's add to the little spookiness. So, when we first moved in here, which was about 2 years ago, my 6-year-old started, he was 4 at the time, so he started randomly laughing. That is my 2-year-old. That's Jameson. Say hi. Hi. He's just playing in the yard while mommy does this. And he started randomly laughing at nothing in the middle of the night. Like, okay, cool. And then another night, I had like something just started turning on randomly in the corner of the room. Don't know how it switched on, but it did. And other than that, like about a year later, nothing much really happened. And then in the middle, like I would say around like 5 in the morning, we used to sleep in the room in the corner, and like a loud bang, just like a bang, bang, bang would hit. And of course it scared the crap out of me because I was sleeping. And that happened 2 or 3 days in a row. And that happened one time when my boyfriend was there, and he was just like, oh, it's just the wind. But I don't know, it's just the way it sounded was like a bang, bang, bang. It was just really freaking weird. And then my dad and my mom stayed in the book room last year. And this is where it gets really creepy, is he said in the middle of the night, he heard a woman say, "Lord." And then he said it got super hot in there, that he literally had to take off his clothes and sleep in his underwear. But yeah, that was definitely weird. And then my sister stayed there a couple months later, and she just said she heard like somebody knocking on her door, and she went to look and nobody was there. So, I mean, I've had weird dreams about the place. I've seen like a shadow man, and I could have sworn I've heard like somebody running up and down, and I thought I've heard children laughing, even though my children were asleep, and I know they were asleep. So, and I, you know, as a mom, you recognize your children's laughter and stuff. So I guess I'm not getting anything else right now. So I'm just on my way to the cemetery right now. I'm an amateur. I have basically my ghosty bag. So just my luck, the cemetery was locked. Oh, would you look at that? That's a straight up ship. Were you in the war? To sit next to the cemetery. I'm not gonna jump the fence because, you know, we gotta respect the hours of operation. I just didn't really want to take my kid to the cemetery and do a paranormal investigation. So here we are. So I figured I should like go ahead and try this one more time. At least over here. So if there's any spirits who want to communicate, I'm open to communicate. I am recording with my phone right now. I come with respect. I only want to communicate with good spirits, nothing bad or evil. Say anything. Okay, we got something coming through. So it looks like a couple people on the floor with a man over a woman, and the way they're dressed, maybe what was that, like between the 1920s or 1940s? Are you guys stuck here, or are you able to cross over, or are you waiting for somebody so you could cross over? Ooh. Were you a dentist? That is horrifying. Oh gosh, or is that some sort of like torture device? Was your tongue cut out? Ah. A lot of like the stuff that I've gotten when I turn it on over here, I have a feeling like it showed like, I'm gonna say like kind of like, I'll have to like show you guys pictures, but I think here. One time I was doing a like the other GhostTube app, and I was talking to a pretty friendly spirit. Her name, I forgot what her name was. But then I know something evil came in the line because it said Satan. And when I asked, I was like, are you able to move on? And it said, I don't know, I forget what it said, but I asked if it needed any prayers or anything, and it said to say, and it said Satan again, and I was like, well, no, I'm not gonna talk to this thing anymore, and basically shut it off and shut off my connection with it. And I kind of had to take a break from GhostTube because, I don't know, whenever you encounter something evil or demonic, like, I don't know, it just feels like it drains your energy. At least that's how I felt. Pictures that I've like seen before, it's like showed, it said like murder or in killed, and I kind of wonder if there was like some stuff going around here, or if somebody was killed around here. I don't know, you just never know. Like 5 o'clock, so that's why I thought it would open, because I think normally graveyards are open till dusk. So I don't know, maybe it was because of the weather, and maybe I wonder if they were just walking around. Oh hey, that looks like a city. Did you still live in the city? It's amazing to me how we have the kind of AI technology that comes up with stuff like this. Okay, so it said water. Could you be talking about the rain or holy water?
You don't understand.
What is it that I don't understand? You just said water. Do you want to try explaining? The app started making like a crazy red beeping sound like at the corner up there, so I don't know if that just means that it's detecting like electromagnetic energy. What's your name? Video with this?
She told me.
Who told you? What did she tell you? So I just switched back to the Ghost See Her. The last thing I heard was she told me. There you go. Okay. Oh, that's pretty. It is springtime. Those are poppies. Those are so pretty. Were poppies your favorite flower? Or is that your name, Poppy? Do you feel stuck out here? Do you feel like you can't move on. By the way, yes, I am wearing some spooky stuff. I will be that one. One of those weirdos who wears Halloween in the middle of the year. Look at these two cuties. Oh yeah. And then there's Selena Spooky Boo. She's also cute. I love how she just doesn't care. Billy's literally on top of her. Hey everyone. So I decided to get some fresh air and do some reading outside. And my little buddy and I were having a picnic at the park. This park is just so beautiful and so peaceful. We've been having a lot of rain lately, which, you know, I'm all for. And up there, you can see there are some fairy homes. can't be a Scooby-Doo vlog without Scooby-Doo cartoons. I finished 2 books so far, and right now I'm just gonna have a reading break and I'm gonna do some Scooby-Doo art. Right, Jacob? Yeah. Here is the sketch I have so far. Alrighty, so I am done with the sketch. I just kind of erase it a little bit so I can color on it. Here is Oreo giving me some moral support. I'm going to be using my Ohuhu markers. I've had these for the past 4 years, and yeah, they still run pretty well. I like them. They're alcohol-based, so those are pretty nice. Anywho, I will catch up with you guys once this is done. So I finally finished reading all 3 books, so I am here to film the final part of this video vlog and give my reviews. This book, do not be deceived by this cute little cover of this little ghost girl on top and the little house is on fire. It is a heavy book. It really is. Like, it's a great book. Like, I will definitely rate this like 4.5, 5 stars. But would I read it again? No. I'm gonna recap of what it's about. It's about a boy who basically spends a lot of his time with his uncle. And his uncle is really into the occult. He likes to collect artifacts and such, and he decided to form a Saturday Night Ghost Club. So I don't think I mentioned this before. So the narrator is the boy, and he's writing it as a perspective from when he was a child, and right now, as an adult, he is a brain surgeon. So during each chapter, he kind of describes about like brain chemistry and how it works, and this book had a lot to do with grief and how we handle grief. And I admit this book made me cry, and I don't cry in a lot of books. So if you're if you're really sensitive about grief and just specifically about children and spouses, then maybe this book isn't for you. But like I said, it is a good book. It is a really good book. Like, they go on a couple of mysteries, and each mystery kind of is tangled up with the uncle, and it is like, I guess they are kind of meddling into trying to figure out Niagara Falls's mysteries and whether they're true or not. And little do you know, like, they're kind of all connected to the uncle. I'm trying not to give too much away in case if you are interested in picking this book up. But it ended perfectly with the last chapter on Halloween. This is actually perfect for the summer too, because it starts during summer. And it's a beautiful book about friendships, and it has to do with mental health and grief. So yeah, I just wanted to disclose that. But yeah, like I said, 4.5 star read. It ends with Halloween night and just kind of all ties together beautifully. But like I said, it was definitely a heavy book to read, and that's why I wouldn't pick it up again, just because I've dealt a lot with grief in my life, and it just kind of reminded me a lot of things that I went through in the past. So that's why I'm glad I read it, though. I'm glad I read it. So the second book that I finished was The Stars Did Wander Darkly, and this one was by far my favorite out of the 3 books. This one just had everything, and I can't believe it's a middle grade. Like, the way it reads, like, I was genuinely like scared throughout the book because there's so many creepy scenes. During the summer in a little town in Oregon, and these kids are enjoying their summer vacation. They enjoy spending time together and watching horror movies until one day weird things start to happen. The adults are kind of acting weird, and they're one of them notices a penny on a doormat, and I'm sure you're thinking, what is so weird about a penny? The weird thing is he tried picking up the penny and throwing it like away, and it just came back on the same spot. And later on, he came to discover that a neighbor also had a penny on her doormat. And as time went on, he noticed that his dad started to change, and that his neighbor started to change as well. So they realized that they were targets. But yeah, so this book was absolutely wild. It was amazing. There were a couple of creepy scenes in this book. Like, I'm not gonna give a lot away, but there's a scene where they go camping, and like they start hearing. It's just three kids. They start hearing thwacking. They're all alone. You know, it's just three kids all alone in the middle of nowhere, and they're hearing like thwacking, like somebody chopping wood. And they're like, who the heck is out here at 3 o'clock in the morning? One of them tries to go investigate, and he comes back and he goes, turn off the lights, turn off the lights. And, you know, they're there shaking in their tent, and they were hoping the thwacking would go away, but it didn't. And then they just kind of heard it all night, and they kind of were like, we'll just toughen it out till morning. And morning comes, you know, they wake up and they kind of brush it off as maybe we were all hallucinating, you know, we were out here, maybe we're just having overactive imaginations. And so they continue on with their camping trip. And then one of the characters, Archie, he goes to like wandering in the woods, and then he sees his neighbor butt naked on a crick. And she's just kind of standing there with her long gray hair. And, you know, he's kind of freaking out because he's like, oh my gosh, what is he doing? And as he was trying to sneak away, she like hears him, and she turns and she goes, oh, hi, Archie. And he says, hey, Brigitta, are you okay? Brigitta, I don't know. It was a weird name. And she's like, oh, I'm fine. I'm better than okay. Why don't you come here? And he's like, I think I better go. And so and then she goes, but Archie, there's nowhere you can go. And then she starts like coming towards him. I mean, oh, that scene gave me goosebumps. And that's just like one of the horrifying scenes. But yeah, it was just all so good. So good. And like I said, the ending was mind-blowing, and it had definitely a lot to do with the town's mysterious past, and who knows, maybe aliens do exist in this book. I don't know. Definitely a 5 stars. Please pick it up. I think it's amazing if you are into books about meddling kids, and one of the villains actually called them meddling kids. So hey, I'm so glad that worked out for this reading vlog. And the last book that I need to review is Meddling Kids, which I just finished. And this book definitely took me by surprise because first 100 pages, I kind of like, this is the first book that I started, and I read the first 100 pages and I just was not getting into it. Meddling Kids is about a town, funny enough, in Oregon as well, and there was a group of teen detectives, and they solved this famous case, and they unmask a creepy old man. After this case, they are haunted. 10 years, they are haunted by this case because this wasn't like cut and grim, like just like how the article explained it. It was apparently a lot happened in that island, and they saw things that they can't explain. One of them, Andy, happens to encounter one of that villain that they arrested, and she asks, I think I mentioned in the previous video, she asked him, why did you lie? because she knows he didn't do it, and he just said, I just got to get out of the house. So the first 100 pages basically talks about getting the gang together and how Andy did that, and Carrie was just working at a bar, and Nate, they actually had to break him out of the asylum. That part was kind of interesting. I admit I wasn't too crazy about the characters, but then they kind of grew on me later on, just because, I don't know, they were all like charming in their own way, and this is definitely queer friendly. Andy is freaking amazing. I think my favorite is Nate. Sure, Nate has, like, there's a part in this book that you kind of hate him, but he's kind of hilarious. He really is kind of a mixture of Shaggy Rogers and, like I said, that guy from The Cabin in the Woods who played the fool. Like, he's actually freaking smart. And like I said, the first 100 pages is about getting them together, and then as they delve into the mystery and what happened, and they go back to the lighthouse, they encounter a creature. A creature that is real, and it is not a man in a mask. So what is going on here? Where did this creature come from? And in the back of the book, it mentions H.P. Lovecraft. And yes, if you love things with all things H.P. Lovecraft, please stick to the book. I promise you, it does pick up. And it was a wild ride. It definitely was a wild ride. This was more than just them unmasking the bad guy. The bad guy ended up being a freaking necromancer. Like, who knew, right? But yeah, like, I would definitely rate this maybe at a 3.5 stars, 4 stars. But like I said, definitely a wild ride. If, like I said, the first 100 pages, I don't know, like, maybe some of you would actually like those 100 pages. I just, when it all ties out together, it's just like, what the F did I just read? But yeah, that is the end of the vlog. I figured I should just kind of end with me finish my artwork so I can show you guys the ending of it. It's not perfect. I never said that I was like a perfect artist, but here we are. Millie and I want to say thank you so much for watching. And yeah, let me know what you think. I'm sorry I didn't go ghost hunting again in the cemetery. It's been raining a lot here, and I just, being a mom and that involved, I just haven't had a chance. So maybe shoot me some comments, and, you know, let me know if you want me to go do that in some other video.